Welcome to the All Natural Pet Supply Petcast, where we talk all things pets. If you've got a pet, this is a place for you. And this week, month, whatever the time period is, I have Kat from our Hazeldale store. She's the manager over there. And we're going to be talking about flea and tick with you guys. It's the season. It's the season. Yep. The sun's come out a few times. We're about to hit our last freeze, probably.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Last week.
Hopefully last week, but I'm pretty sure it's next week. So,
probably.
Or, anyways. So that means the bugs are going to start waking up. So if you would like, your pet should probably be on some sort of prevention.
My pets, my two dogs, have been on Earth Animals Nature's Protection for 3 years now. And I don't have a flea and tick issue. And I go into flea and tick zone. Mm-hmm. And we have cats in the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And we have had a couple fleas, but easily managed. And I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Good job, Bob.
Good job, Bob.
Well done.
Yeah. And Bob is Dr. Bob Goldstein. He is the founder of the Earth Animal line.
He's got a lot of products now.
Yeah. Why do we need flea and tick prevention?
Because nobody wants bugs.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
They spread disease. They bite us. They bite our animals. Mm-hmm. We don't need them.
What are our options for flea and tick products?
Well, these products I think are fantastic because they are multifaceted. Mm-hmm. We have good options for protecting our dogs mm-hmm. and then giving added benefit to them. Mm-hmm. They've done actually a pretty incredible job about making this internal medicine that lets the dog's skin repel mm-hmm. the flea, tick, mosquitoes. Mm-hmm. Definitely, we got to include the mosquitoes in there because that's heartworm.
Oh, yeah.
But it gives all these added benefits that I don't even think most of our staff fully even know.
No,
I get excited about it.
Every time I read them, there's something that clicks in my head and I'm like, oh, yeah. I forgot that was in here and I've been thinking about that in something else. But I'm like, oh, I'm more excited to use this one because it has all the things I want. But a traditional, so what?
I know.
I know. We get a little fired up about this. So a traditional flea and tick product, like an Advantage, Advanix, Seresto, what's the other one? Frontline. Those are all your major flea and tick products.
So many things that are wrong with these.
So a traditional flea and tick product is actually classified as a pesticide by the EPA. And one of the things that I thought was interesting is that a lot of your natural products that are fed internally to a dog to support their immune system, dog or cat, to support their immune system to repel the bugs naturally, they cannot call them a flea and tick product on the label because they are not under the EPA's laws as a pesticide. A traditional flea and tick product is a pesticide.
Super creepy.
Yeah.
I find.
Yes.
That creeps me out.
Yeah. So that was kind of it does freak me out a little bit that we're putting, the way that those pesticides work are, you put it on your dog, and then when the flea or tick ingests it, so they do have to bite to get that pesticide, and it's a neurotoxin. So the bug's brain does not communicate with their legs anymore, and so they die. So that's what we're applying to our dogs and cats.
Internally and externally.
Internally, externally, and for most people, they're doing that every month. Every single month, or with a Seresto, constantly, year-round.
Year-round.
Yep.
Even though these are, you hear it all the time, they are in Wyoming where it's 70 degrees for 2 months. Yeah. They don't even have a problem year-round.
Yeah, in the dead of winter. Yeah.
And it's there's no, yes, you could feasibly maybe get a flea and tick at that point, but they're usually dormant. They're cold. Yeah. But year-round. Mm-hmm. Neurotoxin that crosses blood barrier in our animals.
Mm-hmm.
and we touch them. We
Yeah.
go. I sleep with my dogs. Mm-hmm. My nephew pets my dogs.
Oh yeah,
Little kids pet my dogs.
I was just talking to the gals at the Battleground store this morning, and they said, you know, I've really been thinking about that a lot lately because a lot of people have multiple pets in their household. So you put that on the back of one of your pets, the other pets are going to lick them. Like they're going to be playing, wrestling, all that kind of stuff. So they are ingesting it. So
guarantee we're ingesting it. You
yeah.
buy this beautiful organic apple that you just spent $4 more rather than a conventional one, and you go and you pet your dog, pick up your apple that you might have washed, but now you've picked it up from your petting your dog, and you go and eat it, and it's on your hands.
Yep. Well, and then like your dog lays on your couch, you're sitting on your couch, like they're everywhere.
It's everywhere.
We live with them, like
yeah. And then you layer that on just our health and our dog's health. Now we're talking. You can go into the environment. So now we're actually potentially decreasing by the insane amount of like our bees and our pollinators, which we have to survive as a species.
Yeah.
And there's the study that Guardian did it.
I actually wrote it down, so
you got
I
it.
wouldn't...
So we had the numbers, but it's like one drop of this on a dog's back is getting into the waterways, which kills something like 60,000 bees potentially.
Actually, I don't know if I highlighted that. What I have is the United Kingdom's government veterinary medicine directorate. They did a study and they found high concentrations of fipronil in I'm going to butcher it, imidacloprid, which are the main ingredients in Frontline Seresto Advantix. They found those in their waterways in 20 different English rivers. And then also there was another one in Colorado and one in San Francisco. All 3 separate studies found those drugs, pesticides, in their waterways, and those pesticides will kill the invertebrates in the river, which is what's feeding the fish. And then they're also, I looked those up on the National Pesticide Information Center, and both of those pesticides were highly toxic to bees.
Yeah. And we know we have a decrease in bee population. So lots of correlations.
I know that like we have really like I'm not saying that we shouldn't have some sort of prevention for our dogs. Like there's definitely a risk like for like getting bugs and worms and things like that. But if your animal is on if they're on a good diet and they have a healthy immune system, they should be able to handle a few fleas every now and then. Or like, I mean, I don't want to risk Lyme disease. That's for sure one that like, if you know there's a lot of ticks in the area, like definitely use some sort of preventative if you're going to go in the area. But like with the natural products, you can get into a rotation of layering them and things like that. And you can they are effective.
Yes. Very.
And if I'm going to be putting something into my pet regularly, I would rather feel good about it. One of the things that we do pretty regularly, most of the staff does, that's easy, is just adds garlic. Because garlic is a natural flea and tick preventative.
And I love the fact that we just talked about this before the show, that this myth of the garlic being toxic is still out there.
Garlic.
My friend actually was like, how can you give garlic? It's toxic. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I absolutely do.
Yeah. I did a Google search this morning because I wanted to verify that I had the dosage in my mind correct.
I did too, yeah.
And the first thing that pops up, garlic is toxic to dogs. And I think it was the American Kennel Club who said that.
Yeah.
And it shocked me because I was like, oh, we know this is not true. Like we talk about it regularly.
All the time.
And the study that they had done on garlic to try to figure out if it was toxic to dogs, they were using a garlic extract. Yeah. So that's like way more potent than just garlic cloves. And the dosage that they said was harmful was the equivalent of feeding your dog, I think it was 60 cloves of garlic a day. It was a 75-pound dog at 60 cloves of garlic a day. So,
like, why this study even occurred to begin with? But no dog died during this study.
Yeah, I think it was
so it
I think it was just like it was negatively affecting them. But as soon as they got off it, they were fine.
Right. So I looked up, following my same research of that, was that we got the same level of toxicity that poor golden retriever got, but we get it at a lower, it was something like 10 cloves a day. If we were eating that daily, we would get to that same level of discomfort. And
I've had days where I've definitely eaten like 10 cloves of garlic. Like,
and you don't feel very good.
You just feel a little queasy and you think, maybe I shouldn't eat 10 tomorrow.
That's a little too much.
Yeah.
Little goes a long way.
Yeah. And I think the thought behind it is that garlic is in the same family as onions, and onions are toxic. Yes.
Right.
And so like that was the thought. They're like, well, if onions are toxic, then garlic's got to be. Let's test it. But yeah, garlic actually has a lot of benefits. It's really good for cardiovascular health,
antibacterial, antiviral, potential for anti-cancer.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah. And if you want to try, if any of the people out there want to try doing garlic for pest prevention for their pets, the general guideline is 1 clove per every 30 pounds. I think for a while there I was cooking with so much garlic that it just permeated my dog. She never had any bugs. It was just in the air in my house.
The air.
I mean, and for humans too. Like if you're eating more garlic, you're not going to get bit by mosquitoes.
No.
Yeah.
We should.
Yeah.
Garlic's great. It's easy to grow.
Yeah, just bring it with you camping. Yep.
Spritz it.
Yeah.
If you're suspicious of a flea, pretty much a flea. Ticks are sneaky little bastards, basically. Let's get to them in a second. But
you said you weren't going to curse.
Minor.
It's okay.
Minor.
Yeah. We're talking fleas and tick. We're going to get a little.
I'm leaving that in.
Yeah, leave that one in. So it's kind of tricky, but it's kind of not. If your dog or your cat is all of a sudden like randomly going and scratching at its butt, like taking its mouth and just like
it's like a jump, and itch
like
kind of thing. Yeah,
it's probably getting bit.
Yeah.
And then basically we should all as dog and cat owners have a flea and tick home.
Yeah.
It's just this fine tooth, great little tool.
I know I should have brought one, but I didn't think
I almost grabbed one, but anywho, yeah. So if you're seeing that more than once, probably got a flea on you. There could be something else, but more than likely you got a flea. So you just take that little trusty comb and you're going through and you're looking for basically the salt and pepper. The salt part of it is going to be an egg, which is gross. The pepper part is going to be the poop. If you we just went out to the gorge for a hike this morning. So it's a little early yet. They are on preventative, but if I'm going to get a tick, that's usually where I get it. So I do still do a little, so I'm like combing them out. And if I'm concerned, because I found some pepper looking stuff, if you're not sure and you're not really seeing any fleas, you can actually, I just learned this from Dr. Judy Morgan. I was listening to her. You can put it on a piece of paper, add a little bit of drop of water. If it kind of gets rusty, you got flea poop because that's the blood that they sucked from your dog. Which makes total sense. And if it doesn't do anything, it's probably just dirt. So don't freak out. Yeah. But if you're like, obviously if you find a flea, they're really fast. Yeah. Little slivers. Yeah. Then what do? Well, hopefully you can catch them with your comb. Get them in the water, flush them down the toilet.
Yeah. If I find fleas, honestly, I try to... I mean, obviously you're not manually going to get all of them, but I always squish them in the fur and then comb them out, because if you comb them out, they're going to jump everywhere. They're gone.
Right. I'm wondering, this was on separate, she was talking about tick, but she's like, what do you do with the ticks?
Yeah.
And she takes them on a piece of Scotch tape, and I'm like, I wonder if you could take some Scotch tape and actually like stick it to your dog.
The fleas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not on a super hairy part, but usually they're down in their belly, they're on their like inner thigh, they're up by their butt zone.
Yeah. Yeah, and when you are looking for fleas, the belly is a really good place to look for them because the fur is thinner, and so you're gonna be able to like see them running through the fur and like.
Right.
And then also like the belly, if they have fleas, you're gonna see, they call it flea dirt. Like the belly it's got a lot of that pepper all over it. Cause they're running around and pooping all over the place. If your dog has a flea load for a period of time, they can get anemic from it. I mean, not only are they uncomfortable, which you have a great story. You've got to tell your story.
My dog's very sensitive. Jones, if anyone's met him, they know he's a very kind soul. And so he had not been showing actually any signs of like the classic bite his butt and stuff like that. But all of a sudden he was like shaking. He wouldn't walk. He was like, it totally threw me in a panic because he does have elbow dysplasia. So I thought, oh my God, is this like hip dysplasia? Like, did he do something to his back? Like, you're just running through every scenario possible. And he's just like shaking on the ground, just so upset. And so I'm calling the vets. I get him into an appointment. Like, I don't think it's pressing doom, but obviously something's wrong. He's in pain or he's dying. I don't know. I'm like holding back the tears. Take him up to the animal hospital up in Hood River. That's kind of my backup. That's a whole other story. But and get in there. They can't find anything wrong with them. And basically a $500 vet bill later, they found a flea on him. And he was just traumatized because there was a flea.
He just
couldn't handle it.
Crawling.
So he's that level of sensitive. So the warfare began, and so I don't think I think it was early before I generally start Goldstein's nature protection.
Mm-hmm. Because I want to say it was like 2 months ago or something. So you're probably like slowing down on it for the winter season. And
kind of, I get lazy. It's winter.
Oh, I
it's
definitely,
cold.
I got lazy, and last week my dog had fleas on her. Yeah.
So it is time. So I've kind of gone to the, I'll probably keep him on year round on something.
Yeah.
But I always also have diatomaceous earth. Yep. Occasionally, I don't think we brought it. They have their own. Diatomaceous earth is silica, and theirs says silica and.
Oh, I just read it this morning.
Something.
I had it.
Oh, I thought you did too.
Oh.
So it also has essential oil in it. So it has cedarwood and peppermint oil. So it's silica and limestone.
Yeah.
So that basically is this ancient diatom that is in here. It's diatomaceous earth. If you do diatomaceous earth, get the food grade. Mm-hmm. It's fantastic to have for your yard, garden, and flea and tick prevention. And I'm assuming any mosquitoes, whatever. If the bug of the pest touches it, it does take it a little bit, but it dehydrates and
it cuts their exoskeleton,
shreds them, and gets into the waxy surface. Yeah.
It's like it gets small enough that like you could put it in your hands and go like this, and it would just feel like dust.
Yeah.
But like for the little tiny bugs, it just slices them.
It's fantastic. So I always keep one of the two around. And it's great because it doesn't stain anything. So you can actually put this in around your home, around your garden, into your couch cushions and stuff, anywhere underneath your furniture. If you have rugs, leave it out overnight, or, take an opportunity not to vacuum for a couple days and have like white powder all over, but you want the pests to get in there and touch it and die.
Yeah. So it's like this you're only really going to use like if you have like an active infestation.
Right.
Or like you believe that you may have an active.
Potentially.
Yeah. So like you find fleas on your dog. What do you do?
Then we are going into shampoo.
Yeah.
So you could soak your dog. Both dogs hate the bath. So they are not going to tolerate sitting, and it's too cold right now to go outside and go soak in the river. Mm-hmm. That's a great way. What a good excuse to go swim your dogs. Basically, throw the ball out, soak them. That's going to help actually kill anything that's on them. Mm-hmm. But basically, we want to get a flea and tick shampoo that has the essential oils. Mm-hmm. And I just heard a little trick. I haven't tried this where you, because essential oils are an oil, and then we're putting our dog in water first, and they repel each other. That you want to actually like try to get the soap. You don't want to do it to a wet dog. You want to get the bar into, I don't know. We'll have to do a little more research on this, but it was a thought of like, don't wet your dog down first when you're using the flea and tick.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because you want to like create this, you don't want to like create a barrier with essential oil.
Yeah.
The oil water mixture. So I don't know, just something to like.
Yeah. Well, I think typically like the like what they're using to create the suds, I think that
like emulsifies.
Yeah,
kind of
emulsifies.
thing.
And so it does. But yeah, I mean, you definitely want to like. I totally like when I found fleas on my dog, I gave her a bath, put the shampoo in, rinse it right out, and then I was like, nope. No. Sorry, we're gonna do this again.
5 minutes of good soapy, sudsy.
I wet her back down, and I re-shampooed her, and I just like for like a good 5 minutes just like massaged it in. Yeah. And like, I mean, after that she was like, okay, like this isn't so bad. She got like a nice massage. And she was pretty upset with me for not being done when I thought we were. But I like got into the routine and I was like, okay, nope.
And this is, so I actually I will make the bathtub so there's no drainage because I kind of want to see how many fleas are coming out. And I've been lucky. It was just like the one or two one time. But so then, so now we've got the dog clean. Mm-hmm. But we know we have fleas in the house because it's something like a mama flea will lay, it's a ridiculous number, 600
I think that's the number
that
was in my head too, 600.
Yeah, like it's kind of crazy. Then I'm thinking, well, was Dad around? Are we going to have, I don't know. That's my, maybe just Mom. I don't know. But I don't know. Then we still want to prevent. So then the diatomaceous earth, the silica, that gets spread around.
And treat it like if your kid had lice. Any bedding, anything.
Wash.
Yeah, wrap it up into a garbage bag until you can get it into the wash. I mean, if you have room, throw it in your freezer until you have room to wash it in hot water.
Big stuff. I do dryer balls. I got cedar wood oil, essential oils that I put on the dryer balls, and I put it on all their beds on high heat. So if I can't wash the interior bedding, but I can wash the outer bedding, I can at least help because cedar wood, fleas and ticks do not like cedar wood. So you're doing another essential oils so you can get that in your bedding as well. The hope.
And then after that you would probably, I mean, ideally if it is tick season or flea or tick season, you should have a topical on after that. That's kind of, if you got the fleas and ticks, you probably made the mistake of not having a topical.
Right.
So you've gotten through and done all of the preventions to get rid of your infestation. Then you're going to do a topical. The earth animal, they have both the collars and the little, well, these are all collars.
Oh.
Back there.
There they are.
They're,
Just like, what is it? Frontline that does the drops.
Yeah,
except
Advanix,
these are essential oils.
Yeah, same thing. It just goes down the base of the neck. You just let it soak in. These are a 3-month supply. And they're darn cheap.
They really are.
Compared to like some of the other like.
And they're, I take the ends after I've cut them off, so I fit them to the dogs and I cut the ends off and I stick them actually around my couches and stuff.
Oh, that's smart.
Because I'm like, I don't want to waste it. It's natural.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they are oils though. So don't, if you've got a white couch, don't.
No, these are like in the cushions.
But yeah, underneath,
between, wherever I think the fleas might be trying to hide.
Yeah, in the corner of the dog bed.
Making it uncomfortable for them.
That's smart. I like that. Yeah, I did actually. I read on their website too. If you have a dog that you are having to take their collar off regularly, probably if you're bathing them, but then also like if you show or anything else like that, if you take them off and wrap it in aluminum foil and then put it in the refrigerator, it will last longer. Oh, so then it's not like losing efficacy off of the dog. Oh,
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Because I let my dogs go naked all the time. Mm-hmm. And that would be the thought. Like, if your dogs are naked like mine, they don't wear their collars that often. Using the spot on versus a collar, or like I use the collars a lot going in the flea and tick zone. Mm-hmm. I'll just put it on then, but that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think ideally you want to have it on them for a little while. Like before you go into the zone, right?
Yeah.
But then, and that you can use the spray like that too, though. Like,
yes,
if you're going into an area where there's going to be a lot of flea and ticks, just spray down their belly and their legs. I mean, all over them, but focus on the belly and legs.
Belly, legs. I do. We put it on ourselves.
Oh yeah, I love this. Smells so good.
So good.
Yeah, I love this, and we go to Montana a lot because we have family who lives out there, and their mosquitoes are horrendous. Like you can see them in like clouds coming towards you. Yeah. And so every time like before you get out of the truck, you just douse yourself with this.
Yeah. With my dogs do not like being sprayed with it. They will tolerate to a degree, but like I just get it on the hands and then like rub it so I can really get it into their fur. Mm-hmm. That's a little easier application for my kids.
Yeah. That's fair.
But that said, the year round is either the daily internal, because this whole earth animal is a layering effect.
Yes.
It's not just a one and done, except for maybe in those cold months.
Yeah. I think, during the cold months, it's just do one of these. Yep. And then, warm months do a topical as well. And then they did say if you're in a really bad area, you can actually double this during peak season.
And then, we didn't bring it. We might not have it in stock yet. The herbal drops.
The tincture,
which has a little different thing. So all this designing to basically make your dog smell bad for flea and ticks. Mm-hmm. But you as a human won't smell it. Like they don't smell bad to us. Mm-mm. It's just the flea and tick is like,
Yeah. I think this is super cool. This one has, you know what I'm going to say? It has nettles in it.
Nettles are good for our seasonal allergy dogs.
It's
nature's antihistamine. It's fantastic.
It has garlic in it.
We already talked about garlic.
Spirulina.
Do you know what spirulina is good for? It also can help with allergies. Yeah. It is a it has all the essential amino acids, but trace minerals and vitamins. Yep. And it can also reduce inflammation. Mm-hmm. Am I missing something?
Spirulina,
It doesn't have B12, so it's not like a complete and utter end-all be-all. So like a vegan or a vegetarian can't live off spirulina, but still. Yeah. It's got a lot of good.
It seems kind of expensive probably if you wanted to try to live off of it, but yeah. And then it has kelp as well.
So kelp's like Hazeldale store's big hot topic.
You're
this
like
last
way
week.
into kelp.
The kelp.
Yeah.
So kelp is it's kind of in everything. It's popping up in everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's good for our dental,
Mm-hmm.
ourselves included.
Yeah. Which it actually softens the plaque buildup.
Yes.
So a lot of your really common dental products like your plaque off, C-dent, a bunch of them, are kelp based. So it's just sea kelp, and you would sprinkle it over their food or add it to their water, however you want to do it. And it softens the plaque. So then the next time they eat something, it's going to break off easier.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So I also, cautionary with kelp, if you have a dog with thyroid, because it does have iodine, we'll just put that out there.
Mm-hmm.
It has trace minerals. It's alginic acid.
Okay.
I believe that's how it says. That is the tartar and plaque that helps reduce the tartar and soften that plaque.
Okay.
I just read, because I'm trying to wrap my brain around the alginic acid and how this works. And so I kind of side noted onto this. We're going into dental and stuff, but it's used in human right now for GERD, which is gastroesophageal reflux disease is what GERD is.
My dad has that.
So see if he's taking kelp.
I should
because
ask.
It's actually because if he's on a proton prohibitor, not good. But that's usually what we get prescribed,
because I think
Prilosec.
Maybe I don't know. But because
being
it's one
on
of those
a
things.
PPI is not good for us long term by any means.
Yeah, but also they don't really have a lot of solutions for it, and it long term can actually cause throat cancer.
Right.
Because it's just your stomach acid is just bubbling up to where it shouldn't be.
Right. So it actually reduces the stomach acid.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And if you have a reduced stomach acid, this is just GERD in general.
Yeah.
Right. So if you have that, you actually open the door for viral infections.
Okay.
We learned this through COVID. We're not going to go down that because it's a whole other, but that was one of the indicators. If they were on a PPI, were highly likely to catch COVID because, and they did this, it was some study on a cruise ship. But I thought that was interesting because with all the kelp, if we have dogs, this isn't studied yet, but could actually help with the dog with acid reflux.
Yeah, or I wonder about what is that?
Questions.
What is that one that a lot of Frenchies and stuff get it, where they have to sit up in the little chairs?
Mega esophagus.
Yeah.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah.
I think it's different because that's the hardening of the esophagus, but if it helps
with the reflux portion of it.
Right. Kelp could be our next superfood.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's a side note on GERD. And it's a prebiotic. Kelp.
Yeah. Kelp. Yeah.
Then it also has in there alfalfa. Mm-hmm. Potentially anti-cancer, good for kidney and bladder. It's a diuretic. Mm-hmm. Papaya's in there. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Plant enzyme for digestion. Mm-hmm. Also a prebiotic.
Yeah.
It's got A, C, K, and E vitamins.
Yeah. So then this one. So this one is the yeast-free one. So these are the two different options for internal year-round. So this one does not have yeast in it, and that's just because some dogs have a yeast allergy. If your dog has a yeast problem, that's different. Internal yeast and external yeast aren't related at all. It's just every now and then there's a dog with an allergy to this one. So there's this one.
Right.
You do feed slightly less on this one. But yeah, this one is a brewer's yeast based, which a lot of the natural flea preventatives for many, many, many years have been yeast based. It's effective. You probably did a bunch of research on these ingredients that I didn't.
This one it's the most, not boring, but it's the most classic.
Yeah.
Because it's brewer's dried yeast.
Yeah.
And it's got garlic.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the two, that's your thing.
Yeah.
But it does, I mean, so yeah, you could go buy brewer's yeast and sprinkle. I did that for years. Garlic, obviously, but it does have a bunch of other ingredients that help basically boost your dog's immune system, because a healthy dog is going to be less likely to get parasites.
Yeah.
And have an issue. So it's not really boring. I just am not as excited about its ingredients, but it works. And I do switch to this.
and honestly, it's not a bad idea with anything to rotate.
Right. They got to be bored if they get this every day year round. So figure like there's a different flavor going on.
Yeah. Oh, also what I do with my dog, because she hates any green supplement, I mix it with goat's milk.
Yeah, make like a little green smoothie for her.
Mm-hmm. I just take my goat's milk container and thaw it out, and then I just figure out how many doses are in the or how many days worth of goat's milk are in the container, and then I do that many days worth of the flea and tick stuff, and I just spoon it in there, and then every day I shake it before
she gets her little smoothie.
Mm-hmm. I like her little green smoothie. Need to have like a little picture of both of us holding a little cup of the green smoothie.
Yeah, I do that too. Dogs are so spoiled. There's your little appetizer.
Yeah.
Little goat milk. Mine get goat milk with their Adored Beast mushroom blend.
Oh, mushrooms.
And their probiotic. But right now they're on the chaga mushroom.
Yeah, I have like put like the fish oils or like the potency or stuff like that. I have put that in the goat's milk too, but I just feel a little too weird about it because like milk and oil, like I think that I need to serve those separately. I
do too. It floats and it doesn't look appetizing.
Yeah. I mean, if you shake it, I'm sure you're good, but yeah, it's just no. I mean, green milk and fish milk are different.
Fish it's too far. Needs to be separate. It's a separate appetizer.
Yeah.
So that's how we roll at our house. You get a 4-course meal. The other 2 things in here that I think are worth noting, or maybe just one. Neem. Neem's a classic.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone should know what neem is because it helps with all sorts of anti-parasite, antibacterial, anti-bugs.
Yeah, that's what you use for all your houseplants.
Yeah.
If you have spider mites or anything else on your houseplant, neem. Yeah.
Fantastic. And then it's got hawthorn in it, and hawthorn is good for heart health.
Oh, yeah.
So it increases circulatory and supports your heart. So it's another, I get excited about that one.
Yeah.
It's just got more fun.
Yeah.
More fun.
Yep. So we talked a lot about fleas.
The evil tick.
Yeah, ticks.
They do feed. Okay, so I used to never think ticks should be alive. Like that could be the one thing that like.
Yeah,
But trying to remember the Yellowstone wolf story and be like, okay, everything has some sort of benefit. And I'm like, well, they feed possums. I like possums.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure the possums could eat other things though. Like they don't just have to go after ticks.
Yeah. I haven't, that's the only thing I've come up with of why the ticks should be allowed.
Yeah. So ticks are very like fleas are kind of like they more like jump animal to animal like kind of thing. Ticks, the way a tick operates, if you're like walking out in a field, sometimes you'll be able to see them. They crawl up to the very top of the grass and they just stand there like this. And they wait for something to brush by. So they will grab hold of anything that brushes by. So the question with ticks is not necessarily to keep them from grabbing, it's to keep them from biting. And like a lot of your traditional flea and tick products, they are not effective until there has been a bite. And with Earth Animal, they actually did a study and they found that they had that the ticks would crawl on the dogs, but they wouldn't bite.
And I've seen this.
I have as well.
Yeah. It's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gross, but to be able to like flick it off or kill it before.
Yeah.
I've gotten more okay with the crushing of the tick, but
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we 2 years ago, we lived in Ridgefield, and our neighbors had a couple of dogs, and they, over the course of the summer, I think they pulled 3 or 4 ticks off of their dogs from running out in the field behind our house. And my dog ran out in that same field, and I only ever found 1 tick crawling on her, and it never latched.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with that.
Yeah, the stuff works. I've seen it. I've told you the story before. We used to walk with this older dog who was on whatever oral.
Traditional.
Whatever traditional she was on. And yes, she was older versus my dogs that were pretty young at the time. But, also a kibble-fed dog on traditional and raw-fed dogs, arguably healthier, but also younger. And the mosquitoes were biting her and at some point will die. But they were hovering over my dogs, and it was the coolest thing. And I regret not getting a video of that.
Yeah.
It was so impressive. And she was just suffering with all these mosquitoes on her face.
Oh.
And mine just sat there looking happy with them, like, and I hadn't put any topical. That was purely
Just the internal.
Yeah.
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 Because that goes in the heartworm discussion, which we don't need to delve into that, but
Yeah, I think heartworm could probably be a whole
other
episode
thing.
on its own.
But it is mosquitoes. So if we know that our mosquitoes are not biting our dogs, that is we're preventing.
Yeah. If you do end up with a tick on your dog, you want one of these.
You do want one of those.
So then you don't have to. I mean, there are so many things online, like put a lighter to its butt,
Don't do
like
that.
cover it in Vaseline,
And
like
don't do that.
all these things. Don't do any of those.
And especially don't add anything like alcohol or Vaseline and then light your tick on fire, because then that's just a recipe your dog will not be happy.
No.
Will never come to you again.
No, I remember as a kid we had a dog, and I remember one time she got a tick, and we did all of the things under the sun, and I feel so bad now because I'm like, and it was engorged, yeah, like in her,
been there.
yeah, and so it was a tough one, but if you're gonna be in an area where there are ticks, definitely check your dog afterwards.
Spray them before you go in.
Spray them before you go in, but check afterwards.
Definitely.
Just in check armpits. That ticks really like to go to the warm, sweaty places. So armpits, belly, behind the ears, that kind of, you can find them anywhere, honestly, but that's where they like to go to. But yeah, if there are a lot of hacks to try to get the tick to back out, you don't want to do that, because when they let go, they spit. And so if that tick does have Lyme disease or any other tick-borne illness, they just spit it into your dog. If you use the tick twister, it's kind of shaped like a little tiny crowbar. So you just slide it underneath them and pop them off. Well, twist them off.
Right.
And when you twist them, their mouth is twisty shaped.
Okay.
So when you twist it, it untwists and lets go. It forces them to
Yeah.
So yeah, that is the ideal way. Or you can just pinch them off, just get as close to the skin as possible, and then just slow, steady pull. Don't yank it, because then you might break off those mouthpieces. But yeah, just slow, steady pull it out. But yeah, that grosses me out. So I have one of these.
Yeah. I don't like touching them. Yeah. But I'd rather, like I said, since I've been on the program, I've never had to actually pull one out.
Yeah.
I've definitely found them, but generally they're just very slowly, they're almost oh, I got the wrong animal.
Where am I supposed to bite on here? This isn't
gross. Yeah.
Yeah. My husband goes bear hunting in Montana, and so he thinks that I'm the biggest wimp about ticks because he's like, oh, you just go out there and you get them on you sometimes and you just pull them off and you squish them and huck them. And I'm like, no, thank you.
Oh. This is who you married.
Pass. I know.
Ew. I didn't know that before I married him.
No, I didn't. Yeah, that's not who he was when I married him.
Pardon him.
He was more into like fishing and stuff then.
Oh.
No, it's okay. I still love him.
Well, that said too, like when you're in peak tick zone and season, avoiding the places where ticks are.
Yeah.
Like not the high grasses. Stay on the trail. They don't like low grass. They don't like heat. They're going to be in the shade, high grass. Try not to. If your dog's running it, yeah, check.
Yeah, and honestly, like, you don't want ticks.
No.
So just don't go there.
Right.
If you're like thinking they're gonna get on you, don't put your dog through that. Yeah.
No, I do the combo when we're in tick zone. There's a couple hikes I really like in the gorge, and it's inedible. You're gonna flick one or two off, but I diatomaceous earth them and spray them. So the hope.
Yeah.
With internal.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing too is like if you catch them quickly, even if they do latch on, if you catch them quickly, then they're less likely to spread any kind of disease.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you gonna do though if like somebody's gonna comment and they're gonna say, how dare you risk flea and tick-borne illness on your pets?
How dare you put chemicals into my dog that are toxic? A neurotoxin.
Yeah,
You got to do what's right for your pet and advocate for your pet.
Yeah, and I think there is a lot of fear out there around this subject. I think that I think we have maybe become too afraid of bugs.
Oh, definitely. Well, and we're very convenient. Everything's about our convenient. And really, this isn't inconvenient. It's a small extra step or two.
Yeah.
It's like you could actually quit scrolling through your Instagram reels for 5 minutes less.
Yeah.
And have your dog protected in a more natural way that protects the environment, saves some bees, still prevents.
Yeah. Oh, I will say, as we're still just in a similar category, Earth Animal also makes a dewormer.
Yes.
Which is really good. It's a little tincture. It's safe for dogs and cats. And it is, what is it? It's black walnut.
Yeah.
Which is a natural dewormer.
Doesn't it have wormwood in it?
I think it has wormwood in it as well. Yeah. And I've had a lot of people have success with that. And especially like it's safe for pregnant animals as well. And so we've had some people who have like younger kittens and stuff. I don't know if it specifically says that you can give it to kittens, but like when they're right on that verge and like your only other option is a pesticide, I just so much rather give a natural, and I have seen it work. Holy smokes.
Right.
Like if your pet has worms, especially like a kitten or a puppy, like kittens and puppies, like
they're going to have
worms. And, but yeah, you'll see those worms coming out. It's terrifying when you give a dewormer and then you see the worms come out. A lot of people panic and they say it's not working, there's worms.
And they go the nuclear chemical bomb.
Yeah, but when you see the worms coming out of your pet, that means it is working. They're coming out because they're dead.
They're dead.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some of them are still alive.
Okay, so that's actually, yeah. That's a good segue because occasionally we all could make the choice to go to that kind of the quote, the nuclear bomb of the chemical. Mm-hmm. So how do we support our dog when we had to kind of like go all out? Yeah. Like this is too much. Mm-hmm. I can't deal with this level of fleas or the level of worm or, I mean, come on, ticks. But, you know, and so you choose for maybe a 1 dose, or maybe you're just in a whatever the situation is that you're making a choice to do this, how you can support your dog and your dog's liver and overall health. Like Earth Animal also makes like a liver detox.
Yeah.
There's different ways to support the dog and help them process this chemical or chemicals so they are still a healthy animal.
Yeah.
Amongst what we just had to do for them for whatever the reasons.
Yeah. And I think one of the things like to think about is like also like we don't know what effect those pesticides have on the gut.
No. And we have no long-term studies on these at all.
No. Yeah. So if, I mean, that's what I would say is like number one, like if you do have to go to some of those options because you have a serious problem, rebuild the gut health after that. Like focus really a lot on that, on detoxifying and rebuilding the gut health. People are, you're going to have to, like, there will be situations where you have to like flea bomb your house or whatever else. Flea bomb, like that one kind of makes me sick.
Do they still make those?
Yeah. Well, like I think you would hire somebody to come do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so like you would leave your house.
Oh, yeah.
And like I would honestly keep your pets out of your house for like multiple days after like they have said it's safe for you to go in. I would still keep them out for multiple days. But yeah. And then just focus on like rebuilding and like.
Yeah.
Probiotics.
As much fresh food as you can in your dog's diet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Get that garlic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well,
that was one last little like, whoa.
Yeah. I think that's all we've got for today. So thank you all for watching and listening in whatever format you support us in. We do have 3 stores locally in the Clark County area. There's a Battleground store, Hazeldale, and 192nd Camas-ish area. If you guys have any more questions and want to chat with us about flea and ticks, any of the things you heard or didn't hear on the podcast today, we would love to talk about it. If you could give us a like, follow, share, any of the things, we really appreciate it so we can keep on doing what we're doing. Bye. We'll see y'all in store.